So you've spent a lot of money and purchased a ballistic helmet, got the MSA Sordin Behind the Neck Ear Pro, and want to run them together. Can you do it? No. Well, not until now. The SARA's, the Sordin Arc Rail Adaptor made by Iron Forge Concepts, is CNC cut from bar stock 6061 T6 aluminum. So what does that mean to you and me? They're not plastic and they're made to last. The SARA's are going to allow you to modify your MSA Sordins and attach them to your helmet via a standard set of Peltor Adapters sold separately to run your system as nature intended. In no particular order, you will need a helmet with arc rail adapters, the Peltor Adapters with rail screws, a knife or razor blade box cutter, a precision screwdriver with an H15 hex bit and a Torx T8 bit, a set of 4 SARA's and the included studs for neckband style ear pro, a hacksaw blade or a Dremel with a cutting wheel, a pair of tension clip pliers, and a pair of MSA Sording electronic ear protection. The whole process should take a little less than an hour if you're patient and careful. And don't be stupid, wear eye protection. Be sure to note that there are 2 different sides to the SARA, a raised side and a flat side. That information will come in handy later. So the whole installation will go like this. We'll slice the rubber that keeps the communication wire attached to the neckband. We'll disassemble the Sordins by detaching the neckband and removing the gel cup assembly. We'll unscrew the internal electronics and remove the retention clips that hold on the connection pins. Once the pins are removed, we'll install the SARA's, reassemble the Ear Pro, attach the rail adapters, and connect the ears to the helmet. Start by removing the fabric that covers the neckband. Now we'll remove the rubber tubing that covers the wiring. You can use a vise for this part, but I chose just to cut the rubber tubing here at the workbench. Be careful not to slice the wires or you'll wind up with very expensive earmuffs. Next, we'll cut the ends off the neckband wire. This wire is pretty hard, so use either a hacksaw blade or a Dremel. I cut the wire at a point immediately above the existing stud, keeping the cut as flat and clean as possible. Use a small file to remove any sharp edges. Once you have these parts cut, you can place the neckband pieces aside. Next up is the removal of the ear cup assembly. Place your finger under the gel lining and the whole cup should pop right off. There's a piece of foam that protects the electronics and microphone. Remove that as well and place both of these to the side. Now that the interior of the headset is exposed, you'll see a few screws and 2 retention clips that we'll need to deal with. You'll need a T8 bit on your screwdriver for this part. Start by removing all of the screws that hold the electronics board down. Be careful that you don't damage any of the electronics or wiring. Gently place the circuit board out of the way so you can access the retention clips. The most essential piece of equipment for this process is a good set of clip pliers. They're pliers that have very small ends that will engage the pry points for the clips. Once you've removed the 4 clips, watch out, they're easy to lose, you should be able to slide the connection pins out of the headset. This will allow you to fully detach the headset from the ear cups. Now it's time to attach the SARA's to the ears themselves. On the non-wire side, insert the replacement stud through the SARA and into the ear. Make sure that the raised side of the SARA is facing outwards. With the connection pin in the ear cup, reconnect the retention clip using the clip pliers. On the other side with the wiring, you're not removing the stud post. Just slip the wire through the notch in the SARA, slide it over the post, and follow the same process of reconnecting the pin and the retaining clip. Reconnect all of the electronics by screwing down the electronics board. Replace the padding, making sure that the small circular cutout is over the microphone, and snap the gel cups back into place. The Peltor adapters have 3 distinct pieces: the rail adapter, the wire uprights, and the plastic clips that connect to the headset. We'll start by removing the plastic clips. They should slide off with a slight pull. There are 2 retention points on the wire that keep the plastic pieces on. We'll need to remove these to install the SARA's. Just like the neckband, the uprights on the Peltor adapters are pretty solid. Unless you have the hand strength of a professional arm wrestler, using regular old lineman's pliers, especially dull ones, may not give you a clean cut. You may need to use a small Dremel with a cutting wheel to make your life easier. Make sure to only take off a little bit at a time, or you'll run the risk of cutting them too short right off the bat. Take your screwdriver and use an H15 bit. You'll need this to adjust the screws in the SARA's. Back the screws out of the SARA slowly, but not all the way, since they're easy to lose. You should be able to slide the Peltor adapters right into the SARA's at this point. Adjust the screw tension so that the Peltor adapters are securely fastened to the ear cups. If you're mounting these permanently to the helmet, you may want to use some blue Loctite on the screws to keep them from backing out. You should note that the uprights on these adapters will click in and out of position, allowing you to temporarily move the headset away from your ears. The snapping is normal. In the box with the Peltor adapters, there should have been a small package with rail screws. You'll use these to connect the helmet adapters to the helmet. The next part you can do with or without the Peltor adapters connected, but I chose to do it with them on. Thread the ear cup through the helmet as I'm showing here, behind the BOA system and above the suspension system inside the helmet. Your helmet may look a little bit different, but the process is the same. We just want to make sure that the wiring is kept out of the way. A more permanent solution would be to use some adhesive clips inside the helmet to more securely mount the wire. You can find the method that works best for you. Make some final adjustments on the positioning and you're done. In order to reuse your neckband in times where the helmet is not needed, just remove the small screws from the SARAs and disconnect the ear cups. Unthread them from the helmet and reattach the ear cups to the original neckband using the SARAs. Hope this helps, and thanks for watching.